Disney CEO Bob Iger recently announced to itchy investors that the company had ambition to invest $17 billion into Walt Disney World over the next 10 years. $17 billion. This chunk of change is no doubt a direct result of putting a price tag on the FastPass system. You know, that seemingly helpful service that operated much more efficiently and effectively when it was free? Well, now the genie has emerged, Disney is 100% fine financially, and they're eager to throw 17 billion wishes at anything that might stick. These exorbitant funds could likely be dedicated to many things, including different park expansions, new cut-and-paste hotels and restaurants, regular maintenance and refurbishments, increasing cast member wages, and maybe, just maybe, bringing back that infamous Hollywood Studios sorcerer's hat. Not here, but here. And honestly, that all sounds great. Such intense investment into Walt Disney World could theoretically only improve guest experience and satisfaction overall. But Disney has the opportunity to do something incredible, something radical, and much like the innovative spender Walt Disney himself, they have the ability to do something that has never been done before. Buoy to all that other stuff. Let's imagine a scenario where all that intended capital is not spread out over the entire resort, but into one brand new singular attraction. What could a $17 billion dark ride look like? Again, $17 billion. Billion. With a B. That's a lot of guacamole. So let's dive in. Not into literal guacamole, but into, like, you know, theme park budgets and stuff. Or, well, actually. A single dollar bill. It can buy you a small bag of peanut butter M&Ms at some stores, a 20-minute long-distance phone call, and legitimately nothing at all in Walt Disney World. A bill itself measures 6.14 inches end to end. If you place that dollar bill in a row 17 billion times, that final money line would be 1,647,300 miles long. That's enough to circle the entire globe over 60 times. It would be an airline flight nearly 12 weeks long, if you were flying at the speed of sound. And we just don't have the time for that, so let's just consider the area and make a carpet of singles going every which direction. $17 billion would cover an expanse of 68 square miles. The Walt Disney World Resort itself is only 43 square miles. That means the entirety of Walt Disney World Resort is not even big enough to hold $17 billion. They would have to be like $5 bills or something to fit, which, given Walt's admiration of the 16th president, that is likely how he'd want this comparison to play out. If you were given the ability to spend $1,000 every single day, it would take you over 46,000 years before you'd even have to start thinking about your finances running out. But I'm going to try and spend it all right now in 15 minutes. Yes, my friends, math is rarely fun, and with massive numbers like this, it can only be horrific. But what the heck? We have $17 billion and... Wait, hold on. Bob Iger, now this is a true story. Our fearless leader, Bob Iger, saw Ice Age Continental Drift and said, "Bring me the chef. I want the maker and I want his recipes, old and new, the entire Fox company, spare no expense for that Fox meat shall be mine." And then Fox, sly as ever, said, "We think we could go for $52 billion. And Iger said, No, of course not. That's ridiculous. I want to buy you for $71 billion. And then he did. And then everybody let him. You know, I'm not doing the math on that because I just want to ride rides, but I will say the purchase seems excessive. And it's likely why a lot of other things feel cheap in the Disney company right now. So honestly, what's a $17 billion attraction in the grand scheme of things? So let's do it. Let's build a grand and miraculous, planned and meticulous $17 billion attraction by looking/referencing the estimated costs, volumes, and attitudes of some of Imagineering's most recent triumphs. A running theme in Disney is, of course, storytelling. The Disney company itself had its own storied beginnings in the art of animated cartoon shorts. They were a hit and people loved them, but Walt Disney wanted to take it further. And so he did. He introduced Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, a full-length animated feature film. He took the cartoon short medium victoriously into long-form storytelling. It was risky, but it paid off, for it was incredible. Enter Disneyland in 1955, a new entertainment medium, the home of another kind of short-form Disney entertainment, the Fantasyland Dark Ride. The dark ride over a few minutes would tell familiar stories in new and exciting ways by bringing them forth into physical space. Disneyland itself was risky, but it paid off, for it was incredible. But now, many decades later, we've grimly identified the truth. Dark rides are indeed incredible, but they end too quickly. How can you tell a true Disney story in so little time? Our $17 billion attraction will finally take the dark ride format into long-form storytelling. The next natural and necessary chapter of Disney entertainment. A full-length feature dark ride. We've had great and energetic glimpses of what this could look like in the past, but one of the more contemporary and current samplings of this potentially longer-form dark ride is certainly within Galaxy's Edge's Rise of the Resistance, perhaps the ultimate of Disney's dark ride prowess. It boasts a supposed runtime of 18 minutes in its online description, and I think that's really generous. Too generous. A fancy queue, while necessary, does not an attraction make. So realistically, with the runtime of the shuttle portion and the runtime of the true trackless attraction, I'll say we shave that estimate down to 9 minutes. I think that's fair. Estimates for the cost of the attraction alone are hard to pinpoint, as Disney doesn't like to promote the numbers, but the internet believes that the price tag of the Rise of the Resistance attraction ranges from $200 million to $450 million. And we're going to want the best of the best for our attraction, so to be safe, let's take the high end on that. Note, this $450 is likely a cost estimate for the totality of the attraction. The scale of the building, the lights, the ride vehicles, the sets, the audio animatronics. To take a Rise of the Resistance-like attraction to long form, we'd probably want to sit firmly at around a 90-minute runtime, right? I think that's fair. So with our 9-minute ride time estimate of the attraction, we'd want to multiply that by 10 to get a remarkably detailed Rise of the Resistance level attraction that's just a tick over 90 minutes long. Okay, so $450 million times 10, this would cost $4.5 billion. Okay, so now we only have about $12.5 billion left to really, fill out the space. Space of which we do have a lot of. The Rise of the Resistance show building is roughly estimated to be about 165,000 square feet. Times 10, our $17 billion show building would be nearly 38 acres. Roughly the stretch of the World Showcase Lagoon. But we are on a budget, so most of the queue will probably have to be outside. I'm thinking we'll put the ride here. It should be noted that Rise can on a good day push roughly 1,700 guests through every hour. Multiplying that by 10, mathematically, our $17 billion dark ride will be able to easily support 15,000 to 17,000 guests every single hour. I think that's fair. Note that Hollywood Studios as a whole has an estimated capacity of about 60,000, meaning on its busiest day it would only take about 4 hours for everyone to experience the attraction. 8 hours if folks wanted to do it twice. This thing is going to have virtually no wait times. But space and ride length and low wait times do not an attraction make. It has to hinge on the story, and the only way you're going to get involved in the story is if there are compelling characters to guide you through it. Enter audio animatronics, the ultimate form of Disney animation. Audio animatronics are the discernible pinnacle of Disney storytelling. Through animatronics, Disney characters can walk out of the screen, out of our imaginations, and into our hearts through incredible and evolving animation technology. Naturally, our 90-minute, $17 billion dark ride is going to have to be stacked with audio animatronics, good ones. Looking at our latest purchase, Rise of the Resistance, the attraction claims to have 65 audio animatronic figures. I think this, while technically accurate, is way more generous than the runtime they flattered it with, as this estimate likely counts the minimal movement figures of the Stormtroopers and the R5 droids. I think there are about 5 or so truly exceptional audio animatronics in this experience. Our ultimate ride can and will make use of these minimal movement figures, but our ride will require an abundance of exceptional animatronics. So, with our current Rise of the Resistance multiple, we've bought about 50 pretty decent audio animatronics and about 600 so-so supporting ones. I think that's fair. But for 90-minute storytelling, it's just not enough. So for our next investment, we can look towards one of the best audio animatronics we have in Walt Disney World as of late. In Animal Kingdom, home to the incredible land of Pandora and the Navi River Journey. A decent and peaceful attraction that culminates with the showcase of one of the most remarkable, fluid, and articulate audio animatronics Disney has ever installed. The Navi Shaman. She can move, she can sing, she can spin a yarn. Wow. But she was expensive too. She reportedly cost in the neighborhood of $23 million to produce. But we want our $17 billion dark ride animatronics to be the best of the best and inflation be crazy, so let's up this appraisal to $30 million. I think that's fair. And besides, we want it to be good. Real good, because good animatronics are the heartbeat of any attraction, and our respectable 90-minute dark ride should have plenty. And I don't want to be too frivolous here, so let's just invest $7 billion into enhancing our cast of arguably even better than Navi Shaman-esque audio animatronic characters. How far does that get us? So, a little over 230 Navi Shaman level quality animatronics. Okay. Plus the 50 pretty good animatronics we have from the Rise budget, as well as the 600 or so minimal movementtronics we have too. Is it enough? And should we go 8? I mean, that would give us another 33 top tier animatronics or so. I mean, we have it in the budget, and the story is going to demand it. Yeah, let's go 8. Okay, so with $8 billion more dollars out of the way, we've only spent $12.5 billion. And now with our 90-minute dark ride presenting nearly 1,000 groundbreaking audio animatronics, we only have $4.5 billion left to play with. So now we really have to start thinking a little more frugally about our purchases. Dark rides are great, but many indeed lack gratifying thrills, and I like boats too, especially the ones with the drops that like spritz you, but they don't leave you soaking wet. How many Rise of the Resistance like dark rides have an incredible boat ride component to it? I can think of one. So let's put a Pirates of the Caribbean Battle for the Sunken Treasure into the shopping cart. The cutting-edge boat ride that sends guests on a whimsical undersea adventure should mesh pretty well with what we've got going so far. Battle for the Sunken Treasure was designed and built at an estimated $400 million. Okay. While adding Shanghai Pirates should technically buy us extra space and audio animatronics, let's just throw the whole budget towards figuring out this unique trackless layout that will seamlessly incorporate a thrilling boat portion. And honestly, I tend to prefer prime numbers myself, so let's just invest another hundo here so they can really nail it, and it keeps it simple for the books. I think that's fair. $500 million. And it would be cool if there was like an All Heights Welcome roller coaster type finale, kind of like the Cosmic Rewind. $500 million. Okay, wow, and we still have $3.5 billion left. Okay, yes, I got it. Where would any of this be without the cast members and construction crew? When you take pride in your work shines value and fun, and let's just take some of this surplus to really appreciate our production team. Estimates suggest there were about 4,000 cast and construction crew that were a part of the design and fruition of the entirety of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. We want this level of crew for our ride, so let's invest $1 billion of the budget just to show our gratitude to the dreamers and the builders. So upon the completion of our $17 billion Ultimate Dark Ride, each of the 4,000 person production team will receive a Christmas bonus of $250,000. I think that's fair. Okay, $2.5 billion left. Okay. So far, we've just been focused on the interior content of the attraction, but no one at all is going to want to visit a 90-minute dark ride attraction with nearly 1,000 animatronics with thrilling elements of coaster and water by word of mouth alone. No, they need to be drawn in visually. There needs to be some kind of remarkable exterior architecture that invites guests to venture close and journey inside. Our ride needs a weenie. And I can think of no better and more incredible weenie than that within Tokyo Disney Sea. The towering, volcanic, and engaging, mysterious island that houses the Journey to the Center of the Earth attraction. Remember, our facade will have to cleverly disguise our nearly 40-acre World Showcase Lagoon-sized show building. Our entrance will have to be bigger in scope and pull, so let's see. I can't find specific estimates on the cost of the facade alone, but ours is grand, so we'll have a lot to cover. Tokyo Disney Sea is the most expensive theme park ever built, estimated to have cost about $4 billion. Wow, $4 billion. We could buy like 4 Tokyo Disney Seas in total with $17 billion. Huh. Okay, let's see. $4 billion, and we want a mysterious island level facade. This mysterious island area is like 1/5 of the park. Let's just say 1/4. 1/4 of $4 billion. $1 billion for the weenie. Boom. I think that's fair. Great. Okay, so a 90-minute dark ride, nearly 1,000 audio animatronics, thrillful moments, cast appreciation, and a killer facade, and goodness gracious, we still have $1.5 billion left. Okay, what are we missing? I guess at this point, we can only make what we got better. Let's add another Rise of the Resistance chunk of time. 450 mil for 9 more minutes. Boom, 99-minute dark ride. Perfect length. Also, I think I'm sick of saying nearly 1,000 animatronics. Let's take this sucker over 1,000. Let's get that metric. Add another billion towards stellar shaman-like audio animatronics. So, including the 65 plus animatronics, our latest Rise Edition banked our 99-minute dark ride will have 300 plus Navi Shaman level audio animatronics, 55 Admiral Beck level animatronics, and 660 simple minimal movement supporting animatronics for a grand total of over 1,000 audio animatronics, and dang it, we still have $50 million left. What the? Okay, you know what? Let's bring Tony Baxter back to oversee the story. $10 million. I think that's fair. Oh, and Joe Rohde too. $10 million. This thing's gonna need a classic soundtrack. See if Richard Sherman's available. $10 million. Okay, so that's $20 million left. Okay. You know, this experience isn't going to be for everybody. I think that's fair. Some families will be divided by this. And if folks are going to pass and wait for their parties as they ride a 99-minute dark ride attraction, they are going to need a nice place to sit. So let's make sure the park benches outside are truly top of the line. $20 million for park benches. Boom, we're at zero. As you can see, all the math definitely checks out. The numbers, the logic, the school of thought, 101% airtight. This $17 billion attraction is just an all-around win. It's good for the company, it's good for the guest, it's good for us content creators. I mean, you know how many YouTube ads we can stick into a 99-minute POV? But like any great dark ride, especially a largely cast 99-minute one, it has to have a good story. And I don't mean another Moana remake. Although if that is how this unfolds, I am 100% there. And so for this grand burden of storytelling, I shall take this on myself. My fee? $65. But, well, hold on, that's negotiable. And wait, actually, no, we're out of cash. Whoops. Well, maybe Disney can leverage this whole $17 billion investment with like a Delta sponsorship or something. If that can be done, I am available, though I do concede the minds at Imagineering could probably do it better. Nevertheless, here's a 10-second pitch to wet your whistle. Walt Disney World's $17 billion dark ride attraction. The Stretch of Imagination, a dream-finding adventure through past, present, and future. A spiritual sequel to Epcot's beloved world of motion, this awe-inspiring narrative dark ride will have you join the pessimistic Smith family as they reluctantly befriend a whimsical and offbeat professor in a hat, who unlocks the portal into the extraordinary world of the Imaginarium, where anything and everything is possible. Join them as they'll encounter magical forests, talking animals, polar bear rainbows, steampunk orchestras, underwater kingdoms, familiar stories of old and incredible futures yet to be, and so much more. Through many diversions, the family will grow and discover that they are maybe connected to this incredible realm more than they even realize. But there are corners of this Imaginarium that are not what they seem. Join the Professor and the Smith family as they embark on a wide-ranging, far-reaching, multi-dimensional adventure through dreams and fancy as the Stretch of Imagination highlights the transformative and freeing power of shared creative experiences. With its 99-minute runtime and cast of over 1,000 groundbreaking audio animatronics, this unique attraction promises to reignite the spark of imagination for guests of all ages, leaving them with a profound appreciation for the spirit of creativity and, of course, the unbreakable bond of family. A journey you'll want to take with yours again and again. Guys, it's like really good. I can like see it in my head. You could do it 100 times and still find new things. It's so good. But maybe you explorers could dream it better. If you had $17 billion, enough to buy a full-length dark ride with over 1,000 audio animatronics, what kind of story would you tell? Drop it in the comments below because I want to go to there. As for you, Mr. Iger, this is but a suggestion, a correct suggestion, but just a suggestion. Consider it wisely and do the right thing. Do so knowing wholeheartedly that the Fox thing was probably a bad call. I think that's fair. Until next time, we'll see you in the happy place. Bye.